Hello and welcome to another edition of Sand Shark Bites. I'm your host, Justin Jarrett, joined as always by Mr. Faculty and Staff Appreciation Day himself, James Duffy. We had that yesterday at softball.
Did.
I know it's always a highlight of the year for you to be honored by the softball.
It really is. This is my fourth year in a row being recognized by Missy Hughes and Whitley Martin. And just
what next?
I know that's the thing. I got to put some fresh blood in the pipeline.
There you go.
But it was great to be there with them in their last season, and
yeah,
it's sad. It's going to be so sad to see them.
Well, we'd like to thank our friends at Voorhees College for making today possible. They canceled on our baseball team at the last minute for, I think, the fourth or fifth year in a row, which freed up our Wednesday afternoon, our regular shooting time, and so we could bring you an episode that we weren't sure would get made on a very busy week for USCB athletics.
It is a very busy week. We've had a lot happen again between last week and this. Luckily, we're not going to have golf. That kind of frees us up to talk about a lot more of these other really fantastic headlines that we've seen come across USCBathletics.com.
Yeah, absolutely. The baseball team continues to impress. Ranked fifth in the nation still, stayed put in the top 5 this week. 3-game lead atop the standings after taking 2 out of 3 off of Weber International. And a huge series this weekend. You can catch it all on Stretch Internet through, should be able to find it through our portal as well as through Southeastern's. Be down at Lakeland, Florida, Friday at 6, and then doubleheader on Saturday, I believe, a noon start for that. Some big games. Southeastern in second place, 3 games back. So first place is on the line this weekend.
It really is. It's just been a great season. These guys are out there tearing it up. They're out there practicing in the rain. They're out there working out at 6 o'clock in the morning. They are, they're earning it.
And they're having fun doing it. That's what I think. That's a big part of what makes them so much fun to watch this year. Is they really enjoy each other and are a joy out on the field.
It is a cast of characters. That's for
absolutely
certain.
Is.
Softball then.
Softball's turning it on.
Coming alive.
Hey, talk about peaking at the right time. They won 8 out of their last 10. You don't have to spin that anymore.
No.
You're trying to find a positive spin last week, but it's spinning itself now. 8 out of the last 10, and on Tuesday against Coastal Georgia. I'm like Middle Georgia, Coastal Georgia. Which directional Georgia was it? Coastal Georgia, fantastic comeback in Game 2, fell behind 7-1 early, and came back and won it 11-7 to finish off the sweep. So some exciting stuff happening with that team. They're coming of age.
And since our last broadcast, Coach H went over 100 wins.
She did, absolutely did.
Real pleased with that. That's
many
fantastic.
more hundreds to come, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's great.
And you got to be honored.
I got to be honored.
Games,
it was great. It was fantastic. I mean, my life is so good. It just everything about my life, my home, my job, my special interests, all these things are going well. It just sounds like I'm bragging. Everything's great. And to have that extra piece of frosting on the cake or the cherry on the ice cream or whatever it is. It was great. It was fantastic, and so good to see so many other faculty and staff members recognized by our team and coming out in the rain.
I think that was Coach H's idea initially. I'm not sure if it was hers or Mr. Coach H's, but one of theirs for sure. And I think it's just a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
I think it's really neat to get our faculty and staff out there, and a lot of them don't get an opportunity to come out to the game, so to get them out there one time and appreciate them and tell them what it's meant to our student athletes to have them as part of their collegiate experience is really neat.
And a tremendous honor for those of us who are recognized.
Cool. Well, your two are playing well, Missy Hughes and Whitley Martin.
Yeah.
They've moved up in the lineup.
They're
and
killing it.
And have kind of kick-started things a little bit. Kayla Boyle had an amazing day yesterday with 8 RBIs, a freshman. Abby Pack had a rough day yesterday, but has been pitching phenomenally as another freshman.
And back to Kayla Boyle, I had a conversation with her early on in the season, and we were talking about some of the players we've known, and she said what she's gotten from Missy Hughes as a leader and a mentor and a big sister on the team to her has really meant a lot to her. And to see kind of Missy and all these other players leaving that behind, instilling in our new freshman players the value of teamwork and schoolwork as well. It's been really great. So.
Yeah, I think they're coming of age. I think they're maturing a lot, and you saw that yesterday when they fell behind early. They didn't panic. They chipped away, and then a couple big innings, and all of a sudden they're back in the lead. So, early in the season they might have laid down in that situation, but this team has matured a little bit. They've dealt with some adversity, and I really do feel like they're hitting a hot streak at the right time. So it could be an
Looks
exciting
that way.
run.
Yep.
Yeah, it could be good. They're down at Ave Maria and Weber International this weekend for conference games. Check out uscbathletics.com to get links to live stats, live video, all that stuff if you want to keep up with them. And
and you should, because one of the things you should see if you watch an archived game from yesterday, that end of the first game, bases loaded, 2 outs, Marissa Becker snagging
going up the ladder,
just snagging it out of the air.
She had to have used the ladder because she's 5 foot nothing.
But yeah, sharply hit ball,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden she's in the air,
It got a
pulling
little
it out of the
sketchy
sky.
for a while there. The rain started falling. Ashley couldn't get a good grip on the ball. It was getting scary.
Catch of the week.
Able to pull it off. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyhow.
The Captain Woody's Catch of the Week. new sponsor, Captain Woody's. Let's get it.
Track and or field.
Track and/or field.
Yes.
Yeah, man, it's getting down to the nitty-gritty for them. They had an awesome weekend in Kentucky. The times on the running races were not great because apparently the wind was howling out there, just like it was here.
It was freezing cold. It was like 10 degrees.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was
they were
nuts.
talking about snow.
There were people long jumping in sweatshirts and what have you. But some great performances. Nathan Wagner. Nick O'Neill had a good week as well, but Nathan Wagner obliterated his javelin record.
49 meters.
Almost 3 meters.
Good night.
Unreal.
Yeah.
If he can do that again, he'll be pushing Sun Conference Championship. He'll be right up there, probably on the podium. So
That's fantastic.
and that's coming up for them soon. In just a couple of weeks, they'll be at the Sun Conference Championship, and that should be an exciting weekend for them. I think they've got designs on some pretty big things.
Yeah.
I know Coach Kimball was meeting with Coach Gaither today, and it sounded like they were strategizing heavily, trying to figure out the combination. Which events do we enter, which people in to get the most points, and there's a lot of points out there for the taking, and if there are any freebies to be had, they'll find them.
And other records out there, Roper broke his own record.
Josh Roper broke his own record in the discus.
Gotta like that.
Who else got one? Hunter Dye got one in the discus. She's
HCD,
really
tearing it
coming
up,
along.
yeah. And
Really coming along.
yeah. Broke,
Who else got one?
look at my card.
I'm drawing a blank.
Wags, 49 meters.
Gordine had a win. We had several wins. Betsy Douglas had a huge week, 3 wins. She and Hunter Dye were the athletes of the week for the Sun Conference.
Yeah, Betsy for the track and the
Yeah,
Hunter
Betsy
for the
won the 800, the 1500,
Andor Field.
and the 4x4 team also won, and Hunter won for Andor Field. and they're out there practicing up again, and in fact, the throwers, the subject of much of what we've been talking about here today, will be the subject of keeping up with Carlo this week. He went out there to watch them chuck their apparati around and have a good time. So, it's been a great week. You said no golf this week, but women's golf will start up on Saturday, I believe. Friday.
Or they're leaving Friday,
round.
yeah.
Practice round on Friday. They'll play Saturday, Sunday, Monday out in Valdosta, Georgia, for the Sun Conference Championship, which will be great competition. 3 of the top 7 teams in the nation there. A couple more in the top 25, so that'll be great to keep an eye on. Thomas is hosting. They're going to have some live scoring as well as a live video stream, so you can keep up with that a little bit. We'll have a link to that on the website as well. And we're getting down to it. It's getting to be postseason time. It's all coming to a head.
And finals.
Well, yeah, finals.
And all that other stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and finals.
And finals.
Yeah. Well, we'll get the finals out of the way before things get too crazy.
That's right,
As far
yeah.
as postseason, before the stakes are too high. So, but we've got another special installment, and I actually have not seen it. This will be my first viewing as we show it live here. So, catching up with Carlo this week. Carlo caught up with the throwers on the track and field team to get a little insight into what they do and maybe some behind-the-scenes stuff, like what happens when things don't quite go as planned. So let's go catch up with Carlo with the USCB track and field team.
Out of all the throwing events, which one is your favorite?
I have to say discus. Discus is my favorite event.
Honestly, I would actually have to say discus as well because it's the one I picked up the fastest and I don't get hurt doing it.
My favorite's probably disc. I can put a lot of power behind it.
Favorite's probably hammer.
Why is hammer your favorite?
It's one of the ones I picked up the easiest. Spent a lot of time doing it. It's kind of one of the most technical, I'd like to think, but a lot of people can't do it.
I'm gonna have to say shot put. I've been doing it since I was a sophomore in high school.
Out of all of your years of throwing, have you ever ran into any mishaps?
Fallen multiple times inside and off of the circle. Yeah, actually my senior year in high school, I was learning the technique rotation, spinning and shot put, and at practice, I actually fell in front of a lot of people. It was pretty embarrassing.
Out of my one and some of another year of throwing, I destroyed a chair.
Destroyed a chair?
Yes,
How did
yes,
you do that?
Well, I threw very late and far left and destroyed a young patron's chair. Fortunately enough, he got out of the chair. Otherwise, he would have been done for.
Well, my sophomore year in high school, there was a senior, and as we were warming up, we tossed the disc in the air, and somebody parked just a little too close, and the disc fell on their windshield and cracked their windshield.
Wow, you cracked a windshield.
Yeah.
Almost hit a dude in the head with a shot put one time. He was just being dumb and was walking out, and we were supposed to have eye contact, and he was ducking for one. I threw and saw him and went right over his head and almost hit him.
So I've heard from one of your teammates that you like taking out trees with the hammer.
Yeah, I'm working on a tall pine over to our right now. It's got a couple big dents in it, but nothing so far. I actually took out a smaller one, but haven't hit anything since.
Gotcha. So if anybody needs a tree removed, they should call you?
Yeah, probably.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who would you say makes the most noise when they throw?
Well, let me think.
Chael, that boy Chael.
Yeah, Chael.
Definitely Chael.
That'll be Chael Kelly.
I guess that would be Chael.
I think that's a very common answer. Can you impersonate Chael Kelly's grunt?
Try.
And then he's like, dang it! And he storms off.
I've asked your teammates if there's anybody on the team that yells when they throw, and most of them are saying you. Could you please give us your best yelling impersonation?
Of me?
Yeah.
At the University of South Carolina, Beaufort, we offer small classes, individual attention, and an affordable education in an atmosphere that fosters diversity and achievement.
We are students.
We field 9 Sandshark sports teams that compete in the Sun Conference.
We are athletes.
We are one university with 2 campuses serving the coastal areas of South Carolina and Georgia.
We are the Low Country.
We are the fastest growing 4-year school in the University of South Carolina system. We are USCB.
Carlo.
Chael.
Chael, yeah, it's a beautiful thing we got going here with catching up with Carlo. This is a fun way to kind of get behind the scenes of USCB athletics.
There was a couple of weeks ago, I was driving out of campus and I saw Joe Tanner overlooking the pond by where they practice, shaking his head as if there was something heavy now in the bottom of that pond.
I see. So no wonder we're always having to ask for new apparati.
Well, we got a new javelin last year, thanks to one of our
we
watchers
did.
and sponsors.
We sure did.
And so
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Mr.
He
Lehman
gives
for that.
Sandshark Bites credit for that,
That's right.
apparently. Yeah, Chael, I'm not surprised to hear that Chael is the noisiest thrower by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. But and I'm also not surprised that that group of people has had some mishaps as well.
Yeah, that's there's a team rife with opportunity for injury and amusement.
Well, and especially because half of them, coach finds walking around campus and says, "You want to go throw heavy things?" And then Coach Mahoney coaches them up, and they become
There you
throwers.
go. There it is, just like that.
Yeah, they're just wandering around campus and sign them up to throw heavy things. So that's bound to happen for sure. Good times catching up with Carlo. Funny stuff, as always. Great stuff. And that leaves us with just one thing left to do. And we have to pick a Sandshark Bites Athlete of the Week.
Yes, we do.
We did not discuss at
We
all.
did not.
We were
We did
so enamored with catching up with Carlo that we're just going to have to reason through it on the air. We're gonna have to, the first, not the first probably, neither the first nor the last live picking of the.
Little Rochambeau forward here.
So we had no men's and women's golf. We
Nope.
had great performances from baseball. Julio De Pena was fantastic.
Yeah, he's
He had the attention of the Orioles scouts. Softball had a great week. Track and or field, fantastic week. But for me, I'm going to have to go with, we talked about her a good bit earlier, the freshman, Kayla Boyle.
Caleb
Kayla Boyle, Sand Shark softball. You are my Sand Shark Bites Athlete of the Week. She had 8 RBIs in the doubleheader against Coastal Georgia. She homered in both games. She's now homered in 3 straight games, and I think 4 out of the last 8. So she is on
she's
fire.
Tied with Haley, I think, for the most
Tied
home runs
with
on the
Haley
team.
for the team lead. Really turning it on of late, and hopefully can be the catalyst to get that offense going at the right time. And a great kid too.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
she's fun to be around. She's got a good personality. Has the my favorite walk-up song on the team, Notorious B.I.G. Big Papa. Good times there. So congratulations to Kayla Boyle and Sand Shark softball. You're the Sand Shark Bites Athlete of the Week. Keep that hot streak going this weekend down at Ave Maria and Weber. And let's start talking about the conference championships coming up, because I think we're going to make a run at defending our title.
Outstanding.
Well, thanks for joining us for another episode of Sand Shark Bites. Hope you enjoyed it. We obviously had a great time, as always.
As always.
It's one of the most carefree half hours of our week.
It really is.
Be sure
Except
to
for the hour we're talking to Ukrainian girls online.
Well, yeah, that too. Probably girls. So be sure to tune in again next week. We'll have more for you. Until then, keep those fins up.